So guys, last night I stayed up to watch Keith Thurman versus Shawn Porter. I didn't do a video straight after due to a combination of reasons. Number one, I was sleep deprived. Number two, I was incredibly drunk. And number three, I was distraught having bet the house on Shawn Porter to beat Keith Thurman. I've got to be honest, when I initially watched the fight, I had Shawn Porter winning. It was quite a close fight, but I had Shawn Porter winning with a little bit in hand. I've actually watched the fight back 2 further times today because it's a fight I've struggled with, and it's a fight that I've scored differently each time I've scored it. Each time I've watched it. But now having sat down to the fight 3 times and rewatched some of the difficult rounds 3 times over, I have come to a final scorecard, and I do agree with the actual judging of the fight. I actually now score it 7 rounds to 5 in favour of Keith Thurman. I know a lot of people have come out and said that they believe Shawn Porter won the fight. I saw Dwyer do a video today where he came out very strongly saying he thought Porter had won the fight. And let me say, I initially had a lot of sympathy for that viewpoint, having watched the fight live, but having watched it back twice, I do think that the judges got it just about right in terms of the 7-5 scorecard. Before we get into it, I should say, truly fantastic fight. Credit to both guys. I don't think Porter's stock has taken a hit in losing. Genuinely a great fight, 2 great fighters, and a real good clash of styles, which made it particularly entertaining. I've also got to give a shout out to my man Seri from the podcast, who was the only one of us who picked Keith Thurman to win. I know it was the bookie's favourite, but a lot of us were fancying the upset, so credit to Mr. Abbasi. I don't think he thought it was going to be as close as it was, though, so I'm only giving him half credit, but we can discuss it more in next week's podcast. But anyway, in terms of the fight, I thought Porter had large spells of success in this matchup. I thought Keith Thurman didn't use his jab enough, which is something that I highlighted in my my pre-fight preview. I thought Porter made life very, very difficult for him, and I thought Porter was very effective when he was able to steal the space and smother Thurman's work. I did, however, think on the whole, Keith Thurman landed the cleaner, crisper punches. I thought his work was the more eye-catching. I thought he hurt Porter more. And I think that's why it was so nip and tuck, because there were certain rounds when Porter was trying to run in and Thurman was catching him with power punches from range that were, really making the crowd gasp. And I thought at other times Porter was able to get on the inside, rough Thurman up and start to get his work off. So a lot of the rounds were, it was 1 round to one guy, 1 round to another guy, etc. And going into the 6th round, and in fact, I believe, as far as to say going into the 10th round, I actually had this fight completely even. I think after round 6, I had it 3-3. I think after round 8, I had it 4-4. And I think after round 10, I had it 5-5. So it was a very close fight. The 9th round, I think it was, Porter appeared to really hurt Thurman. I think he caught him to the body hard the round before. I think he cut Thurman. And to be honest, I was really sensing a Porter victory, potentially even by KO, as late on in the fight as the 9th round. When Keith Thurman went and sat on his stool at the end of the 9th round, he looked like a beaten man to me. He looked like he was tired. He looked like he was hurt. He looked like some of the desire had been beaten out of him. And I've got to say, I was massively impressed by Keith Thurman, who on my scorecard won rounds 10, 11 and 12. In round 10, after 2 very big Porter rounds, Porter won 8 and 9 big on my card. In round 10, Thurman comes out. He actually takes the front foot. He actually starts pushing Porter back, and he starts throwing some heavy lever of his own in round 10 and continues that in rounds 11 and 12 to edge those rounds as well. And I've got to say, I thought Keith Thurman would fade in this fight. I thought Porter's style would wear him down. I thought he was cutting a lot of weight. And, at the end of round 9, I thought my prediction was about to come true. So I've got to give immense credit to Keith Thurman, immense credit, because he did a lot of things wrong in this fight. He didn't use the jab enough to keep Porter off. He didn't hold enough on the inside, and he wasn't able to negate Porter as well on the inside. But for me, he still just about did enough by landing some absolute bombs from range, and catching Porter on the way in and catching him clean from distance. And, Thurman showed a lot of heart a lot of will, a lot of determination and a lot of stamina as well. You know, a lot of stamina to come back and win rounds 10, 11 and 12, because at that point I thought the momentum was really starting to move away from him. You know, Porter performed with credit. He fought in the typical way we expect him to. Lots of pressure, lots of aggression. You know, a bit wild at times, bit all over the place, bit raw. But you know, he did what we expected him to do. Thurman did what I expected him to stylistically, but he just stayed on a lot stronger than anticipated. He didn't fade. He showed a lot of grit and determination towards the end, and it was a truly fantastic fight, a bit of a war, and I can see why the scoring is controversial. A lot of the rounds were very, very hard to score. You know, particularly I've wrote down round 1, round 3, round 5. Those rounds could have really have gone either way, you know, and I think potentially because of how tight some of those rounds are, people are seeing it very differently. Because the styles were so opposite as well. I think if you're someone who likes the output of Porter, it'd be easy to score the fight to him. If you're someone who looks only at sort of clean, crisp, long-range punches, it'd be easy to score it to Thurman and so on and so forth. But all in all, an excellent fight. My initial view was Porter. Having reflected, having watched back, I say Keith Thurman. And, you know, Keith Thurman, he has to go right up towards the top of the welterweight division now. You know, there's Kell Brook, there's Danny Garcia, there's Tim Bradley, there's Manny Pacquiao. Thurman is right in that mix, you know, in the centre of that mix for me. A real good performance from him last night. And Thurman goes marching on. As for Porter, you know, he's lost twice now to guys who've been able to time him and hit him from long range, and fundamentally that is going to be a difficulty for him moving forward. But he's going to be a hard man to beat. The only times he's lost in very, very close fights where he's performed with credit, and you know, he doesn't take a hit in his stock after losing this fight. Let me know your thoughts, guys. How did you score it? Are you Team Porter or Team Thurman after the fight? Would you like to see a rematch? Who would you like to see both guys fight from here on in? Do leave your comments below. Do hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and if you're new, please press subscribe.